Satnam aloha, everyone. It looks like I'm live. There we go. And the sound is on. And I hope everybody is doing well. Let me just share the screen here. Okay. It has been quite the year, and it's not over yet. So I'm here with some good news. Some good news. So if you can put your human design type if you want, your profile and your astro information. If your field so called. So this is just the chart of the day, the human design transit. Remember, this is human design astrology here. It's all about getting us to 2027. I'm a projector in the human design system, and that's part of my duty and responsibility. Okay, so that's today. So I just wanted to talk about Jupiter. Jupiter goes direct on the 30th, right? And it depends where you live. It can be like the 31st for some people there. Um, and say how you're doing too, right? Okay. So here we go with Jupiter went retrograde right there on September 4th, 2023. Oh, can you see oh, you can't see my highlighter. Just a sec. We got to do this correctly here. There we go. I want you to see my highlighter. Okay. That should do it there. Okay. So Jupiter went to retrograde September 4th, 2023, and then it goes direct December 30th, 2023. So you can see in the terms of human design, it went retrograde and it was in the second hexagram, which is right here. And this comes off I just want to make sure I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. Bear with me here. Okay. I just want to move this over a bit, I think, so that you can see it better. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's went retrograde, the two, and this is the magnetic monopole. That's where the magnetic monopole lives. This is the driver in human design, that's moving us through time and space, the trajectory. It's all about surrendering to this too. So it's the monopole, it's the driver, it's what is driving us through time and space, magnetic monopole. So it went retrograde there in the two. So this is all about direction. If we just want to use one word, is about direction. And then Jupiter goes retrograde there. So this makes us more internal. So one thing that people don't talk about with Jupiter that I want to bring up is everybody gets all excited about a Jupiter transit, especially if it's transiting your second house. It's like, oh, more money, it's expansion, it's benevolent, right? It's generous, Jupiter. But we never talk about the losses, right? So Jupiter can bring losses. And so this will be intensified just because it has been retrograde since September 4th. Okay. So, and then it's going direct here in the 27.4. Okay. And that's generosity. It's called generosity. This is nurturance, right? It's being generous with your resources and your abundance. Okay. So if you're in Aries, let's just quickly go through this really, really quickly. If you're an Aries sun, moon, or rising, then you would have felt losses in the second house, which is all about money. So you may experience losses in money, losses in your own sense of self-value and self-esteem. That may have been a challenge for you, but remember, it was bringing you to direction, right? It was in the two. It's to get you on your sole purpose, basically, right? The direction you're supposed to be in this lifetime. So these are just lessons. Jupiter's the teacher, the guru, right? So it teaches you lessons. So that's for Aries. And for Taurus, if you're Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, it would be been about your identity and how you show up in the world. What's your attitude? You may have been feeling invisible, right? With Jupiter retrograde, just like I don't feel like I'm seen by anybody, right? So this is more lessons for you, but remember that it's going direct now. right? So everything's going to shift and change in the next couple days. Gemini, sun, moon, or rising could be can't relax, right? Jupiter takes that away. You're unable to relax. You're having sleep problems, right? You're feeling restless, that sort of thing. And your Cancer sun, rising, moon, it could be around your friends, loss of friends, losing close friends, friends that you thought that would always be beside you. They're with you and they're gone. Leo, right? Leo could be a loss in your public recognition, loss of your career, loss of your job, even your father, right? The 10th house can represent that. And then this is going to shift and change December 30th and on. And then Virgo, sun, moon, or rising, it could be about your faith, losing optimism, right? Seeing the world as just one, the glass is half empty, right? Your perspective on the world could have been of huge loss for you, right? And again, it's going direct now. It's bringing all these gifts, right? Jupiter's bringing gifts here with generosity. And then if you're a Libra, sun, moon, or rising, this is loss of a marriage, right? Loss of a partner, loss of perhaps you were relying on money from other people for your main support and income, and that could be a loss for the Libras. And then Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising could be a loss of important relationships in your life, right? Partners in your life, people that you really counted on, you may have lost them either through death or just through separation, right? Divorce. So, and then if you're Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius, sun, moon, or rising, it could have been a pet, losing your sense of good health, right? And then Capricorn, sun, moon, or rising, could be a child, loss of a child through a death or through the child had moved out, right? And now you got the empty nest now, like leaving home, moving, something like that. Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, the fourth house could be around your mother, right? Your home, losing a family member or mother, your home. And then Pisces, sun, moon, or rising could be a sibling, loss of a sibling, either physically through death or just not speaking to your sibling anymore, right? A neighbor, your ability to communicate, may lost your confidence in that area. So that's just a little, just very, very brief, right? So this was all about getting us in the right direction. So look at these losses. What losses have I been experiencing since September 4th, 2023? And what do I learn? You want to learn. This is Earth School. I want to learn the lesson. What was the lesson that was getting me in the right direction for me? Right? So use this as a gift, right? Because we are in Earth School. We want to learn, the divine is very generous in our lessons, right? And they come through our experiences, deep experiences, and they come through loss. They often come through loss, but we'll see these as blessings down the road, right? So that doesn't mean to spiritual leapfrog and not do your grieving work, right? Your inner work. So now in the 27, everything's moving forward, right? So we're going to feel a real shift in energy coming December 30th, and then January 1st, Mercury's going direct. And then the new year does not start on January 1st, right? Why is that? It's because of the start code on here. Okay, so there's the mandala. I'll go into Pluto in a sec here, but it's when the sun moves to the 41st hexagram. See that? The 41st hexagram, the sun moves there, and this is the start codon, right? The start codon. So this is the beginning of every human uh, cycle of experience. So the sun moves around all the way around for the year. But the 41st happens January 22nd this year, January 22nd, right? So it's usually the 21st or the 22nd. So January 1st, the sun is here. right here. And what's the shadow pattern here? Is struggle. That's the shadow pattern. So that's the energy that you're in when you're starting. You want to be initiating all these new things, right? That's why New Year's resolutions rarely work because of this. You're fighting the river, basically. If you really begin the new chapter in your life, then you're supported. There's a start code on. Yes, let's go, right? So keep that in mind. And now I just want to talk about the New Year chart just briefly. So I was preparing for this live stream, and it just started to come really clearly. So this was January 22nd, 2023, right? So this is very, very brief. I'm doing like not even a nutshell. It's like a little tiny seed of a nutshell here. But you'll kind of get the theme, right? A major theme that will be playing out in 2024. So you can see here, right? There's the sun and the 41.1. So this is the exact time of the new year, this chart. And this is the human design chart. So right away, you want to look at where there's definition, where it's colored in. So this is the root chakra, and this is the solar plexus. And we know that in 2027, this is going through a huge mutation, right? So this is important. So this is a global transit, right? So it doesn't matter if you have these channels or if you've got no definition in your root or solar plexus, you felt it because it was a theme of last year or this year that's coming to an end, right? So the 1949, what was that about? Right there, that was a huge theme, 1949. So this is the channel of independence or the channel of synthesis, it's called. And so this is sensitive. You were set the global transit. We were sensitive to our needs. What do we need in terms of food, right? Shelter, clothing, like our basic needs. What did we need, right? With this channel. But also, what did we need emotionally as well, right? Because it's connected to the emotions. And so, sensitive, right? Sensitive is a big word here. Sensitive to your work, what you did for a living, and looking for your tribe, right? So, looking for your tribe, looking for those people that have share the same values as you because we were driven to seek like an emotional connection with people in a family, not necessarily our family of origin, but like a group, that family connection, right? The 1949 drives us to do that. This is a pressure that's coming from the root chakra. Root chakra is all about survival. And this is tribal. That's a tribal channel, right? That's a tribal channel there. So this was a huge theme last year, right? How are we going to get our needs met? What work? Like everything's changing on the planet, and AI came in, and I'll talk about that in a second. Pluto in Aquarius, they dipped its toe in for a couple months, and then suddenly we see AI everywhere, right? People started to thinking about this. Where do I fit in with this tribe? Right. So the other theme here because this is the channel of the bride and the groom, right? The bride and the groom. This is the channel of coming together in relationship. And a huge theme here is acceptance or rejection. So there could have been a lot of divorces and separation this year. Maybe you're going through that right now, right? The tail end of this. So splitting apart of relationships, that could have been a huge theme because look where that 19 is. The 19 and the 49. 49 is in Venus. That's our relationships and money too. Venus rules Taurus and Libra, so relationships and money. And then the 19 is down here in the moon. So this is emotional drive, codependency. And that was not allowed in this new cross of the sleeping phoenix that's coming in 2027, there's no room for codependency. We have to be self-sovereign now. So anything that was codependent, that would have been split up, that would have been split up. If there were codependent dynamics, either on your side or your partner's side, right? That would have just, let's not support it now. We have to become self-sovereign in the future, right? Um, okay, so that's that one. And then look at the other one is 41. So the 41's always activated, but the 30 isn't, right? So, but the 30 is activated by Saturn this year. Okay, in Pisces. And then the 41, of course, is always in the sun in the new year. So this is the channel of daring, the channel of daring. So this is driven by feelings, right? This is, again, it's emotional. You can see these are very emotional. And this is tribal, the 1949, but the 4130 is collective. That's a collective channel. So it can either be one of three, right? Collective, tribal, or individual. So this is driven by new feelings, right? It's unconscious, right? It's the root, right? Driven for new experiences, but they're coming from me. I want new feelings. I want to feel something different, right? So it's about chasing feelings. It's about fantasies, right? Staying in fantasy. We've seen that on the planet, like people kind of in their own little world, right? With fantasy and dreams. They're not really connected to reality, the 4130. So that was going on. And so you want to see, right, the collective in tribal. And so the global theme was the root chakra, survival, and emotional, the emotional. And the other thing here is you'll notice you see the 41.1, 31.1, and then all these numbers, 49.6, 16.4. Notice that there's no 3 or 5 lines, right? There's no, oh no, there is a 3 there. Okay, sorry about that. There's a 3 there. There's no 5s, right? There's no 5s here. You can see 1, 3. Yeah, no 5s. There's a 4. No 5s. There's a 6. So what does that say is there's no common sense last year. No common sense. No rational thinking, right? It's emotional, very emotional. Look at Jupiter in the 17, that's opinions, right? It's no common sense whatsoever, no practicality, no practicality. And so it can bring confusion, a lot of confusion without any 5s in the new moon chart, or sorry, the new year chart. Yeah. Okay. So those were the major themes, but it goes much deeper than this, of course, right? Um, but let's look at 2024. Okay, 2024 is here. Okay, so let's go on the lines because we're on this line thing again. So there's 1, there's no 2, there's no 3. See, there's no 3, there's a 4, there's a 5. And is there a 6? I thought there was a 6. Saturn must have a 6. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, so no 2s and 3s. So what does that mean? It means we can't rely. The 3 is all about the material world. So we cannot look out next year, 2024, and look to the external to learn. We're not going to learn. This is going to be very chaotic, right? No material world. We can't learn through trial and error in that way. This is the old way, right? And no 2s, and that means no projection, right? No projection, no being called out. Again, no being called out. The 2s are all about being called out by the other, by the material world, the external world. So there's no 2s and 3s. Right. So right away it says, no, we can't rely on the material world. We have to really be driven to go into the self. Okay. So we moved from tribal collective channels, and now we're moving into individual channel right here, the 5710. This is also called the integration channel, right? So this brings the process of your individuated self, your unique self, right? That's what this is saying. So here was all about time, right? With whenever you're dealing with the solar plexus, you're dealing with time. There's no truth in the now because the emotional wave is up or it's down. It's up or down, up or down. You have no control of where it is. So there's no truth in the now, which means that you may be up on your wave and like everything's great and you're so optimistic, right? But that's not necessarily true because it's coming from your emotional wave. Or you can be down and the world sucks and it's horrible. That's not true either. You've got to come to the when your wave is clear, right? So no truth in the now. Well, 2024, it's all about the now. It's all about the now, right? The present. And so you can see that the solar plexus will no longer be activated in the new year. Of course, it will be through transits, right? Daily transits, but this is the theme of the year. So we've got the 5710. So what does that say to us? Well, this is the channel of self-awareness. It's the channel of self-awareness. So you may have that activated in your chart right now, right? Um, like natally. So this is guided by your intuition, the 57. It's in the self node, your intuition in the now, in the present now moment. So this is about survival. So your survival is guaranteed if you listen and you obey your intuition in the now moment, in the present now moment. Um, so you must live as your authentic self, right? This is the G center. That's all about self-love. It's about your unique self right here. Um, and then you improve your life. You just automatically start improving your life. So do you see that you have to go within, right? You have to go within in 2024. And so it's very creative. It's very creative and it's awakening the artist. You as a creative being, we're all artists. We're all creating because we all make choices, right? So are you going to make your choice from the now moment and your intuition, or are you going to make your choice from your ego and your mind and your not self? Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. You want to be really learning to trust your own inner intuition, right? Um, and this is about letting go of, because look at this, right? I'm just briefly just scratching this. There's so much depth in this chart, right? So this is the fear of the future. So you let go of the fear of the future when you are your authentic self in the now, right? Because in the now, there's no time. There's no time in the now. Doesn't exist. This is the mind, right? So of course you're not going to fear the future because there's no future. There's only a now moment, and then the next now moment, and the next now moment, right? Um, so you let go of your fear of the future when you're yourself, when you're your authentic self. And this is how you create, and then you start to create something beautiful in your life, something effortless in your life. The flow, right? The flow and everything's just seems to like everything is working for you, right? The synchronicities and things like that. And then next major one, just briefly again, is the 12. This is this gate actually is very mutative. This is very mutative too. All the individual channels and gates are very mutative. And mutation means change, but change on steroids. It doesn't mean like an incremental change and then you go back. This is like major change. Like you wake up one day and it's like, I'm different. And that door is closed now, right? I can't even go back there to my old self. That's what a mutation is. So this is very mutative for 2024, right? We're coming up to 2027 soon, 3 more years. So the 12 is interesting because this rules the throat and the larynx. And when the larynx dropped in humanity, the larynx dropped, and then we were able to communicate with one another, we were able to form sounds and communicate with one another. So this is ancient, this 12, and this is all about expression, expression of yourself, of your true self, right? Expressing your true self, expressing your truth. You see the theme starting to emerge now with the 2024? No more tribal stuff, no more collective stuff, right? Going into the individual, but the program is going to lead people into this, and I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So really you can't rely on the external for 2024 and on. And it's time to train yourself not to always be going to yourself, making your voice most important, right? To you, making yourself most important, your intuition more important than anybody else's advice and opinions about you and how you should be living your life, right? You want to start to train yourself to really claim your authenticity. So let's look at Pluto and Aquarius because that's a big deal, right? So there's 2024, and Pluto goes into Aquarius in January 20th. So you can see here Pluto's in the 60.4, and it's already in the 60.4, right? Yeah, even today it's in the 60.4. It's not going to change. It moves so slow. But look, so it's in the 60. It's the one just before the 41. So you can see in the mandala, it's kind of in a cusp, right? Some of these gates and hexagrams, they're on a cusp, and that means they're part Capricorn and part Aquarius. They're not fully into Aquarius. So when we get to the 41, then we're fully into Aquarius, right? So in terms of astrology and the zodiac, yes, it's in Aquarius, but in terms of human design, it's a little tiny bit. It's a bit in. It's not fully in, but it's a bit in, right? With the 60.4, because it hasn't moved to the 41. So just the dates quickly here, right? So Pluto moves into Aquarius January 20th. It's in the 60th gate. So it's going to have a Capricorn and Aquarius feel to it, right? So just remember that Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius, but the ancient ruler of Aquarius is Capricorn or Saturn. Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Like those are the ancient rulers. So Aquarius too has a Saturnian feel to it, right? So then Pluto moves into the 41st gate. It just dips its toe in for a little bit of a month next year, from April 12th to May 23rd. I'll be reminding you of this next year. So we'll get a little taste of this, what this is going to be like these many years. And then Pluto moves back into the 60, right? And until January 20th. 25. And so it's in the 41st gate from January 30th to August 20th, 2025. And then it's back into the 60. It moves back into the 60. And then it goes, it'll be really interesting to see what happens when it moves back into the 60. It's like we're making a couple steps forward and then a step back, a couple steps forward and then a step back, right? So then Pluto moves into the 41st gate for good from December 6, 2025 till January 2029, right? So it's going to be activated around February 2027, February, March 2027, when things really are moving into that mutation, that solar plexus mutation. So let's talk about Pluto then, right? For this 2024. And what I see, so Pluto and Aquarius, right, has the Saturnian flavor. So we have to look at this. And Pluto's all about control. So this is the battle. This is the battle. We're already in the battle, but we're going to be really in this battle in 2024. And the battle is the NPCs, the non-playing characters, right? Of the video games, the zombies, the sheep, whatever you want to call them. This is about conformity, right? Conformity. This is about sameness, Pluto and Aquarius. Nobody stands out. I'm talking about the shadow of Aquarius. Nobody stands out in Aquarius. Everybody's a wallpaper person. It's the Borg, right? The shadow frequency of Aquarius. So it's about conformity. Right? It's about homogenization. It's the not self world. Just the go along, the get along. This is AI, artificial intelligence. This is groupthink. I don't think for myself. I'm programmed, basically, right? This is mind control. We're going to see these themes really coming up in 2024, right? It'll be like you're talking to a zombie with some people on the planet, right? The NPCs, and they're just going to be parroting what they heard, what they've been programmed to think, how they've been programmed to behave, how they've been programmed to yeah, yeah. Anyway, so we got this conformity, this pressure to conform, right? And this is when you're not conscious, right? NPCs are not conscious. They're not conscious. And there's no judgment. We're all on our own unique path to our self, to our higher self. And some are going slower and they're playing this role, the conformists and the sameness. Okay. And then versus your uniqueness, right? And your uniqueness. And that's creativity, right? There's no creativity with AI. People are falling in love with AI, but there's no creativity in it, right? So if you're worried that AI is going to replace you, remind yourself that you are a creative being. You're intuitive, right? AI is not intuitive. You're self-sovereign, right? So this is like start to wean yourself off the phone. I actually make myself do math, right? I don't use my calculator all the time just to keep those skills in practice. Cursive writing, I journal write all the time. And I talked to this friend of mine, his grandson, who's 21. He's never learned cursive writing in school. They're not teaching kids cursive writing. It's all about text, right? And AI can't read cursive writing. Right, it's impossible. So look at the ways, right, that you can keep your creativity, stay creative, stay unique. And your uniqueness isn't some mental thing. It's just who you are. It's who you are. And so you want to be guided by your intuition. You don't want to be guided by AI or groupthink or mind control. And this is the external, right? The external we can't rely on in 2024. It's unstable. The chart is telling us that it's unstable. Do not give your power over to the external world. It's time to go inside, right? So this is an ego. We're going to see narcissists too, of course, because this is a shadow here. But we'll also see people really embracing their uniqueness, right? And then this is trust, absolute trust and faith in the divine. Yeah. So just keep that in mind for the battle this year. We're already feeling it, right? This pull, and people are choosing. They're going to choose conformity or they're going to choose their uniqueness. And it takes strength and trust and faith. And the people that conform, they don't have trust and faith in the divine. They have trust and faith in little g, not big G. Okay. So the next thing I want to say is I'm having a New Year superpower online retreat. And what's your superpower is your authenticity. So with this New Year online retreat, it's not just about knowledge anymore. It's not about knowledge anymore. You will not mutate, you will not change just solely by this, because this is mental. You need to have an experience. You need to have a deep, deep experience. So this is what these online retreats are about. And they're a tight container, very disciplined. I'm not going to lie to you. They're intense. but it's just for a couple days and then you get the mutation. So comes with lots of teachings. I'll go through the chart more in depth so you can see the themes, and then all about your authentic self. And I'm an 8. My son is in the 8. So I'm totally qualified just by my chart, virtue of my chart. And I've been through the ringer about what it takes to be your authentic self, right? So keep that in mind, January 19th, 21st. And there's Pluto going into Aquarius here on the 20th. And then the 22nd is the new year. So you'll be all set for the new year. Okay. So if you feel called, I'm inviting the projectors, MGs, Gs, respond to this, and yeah, and see if your strategy and authority is given a yes. Okay, so you're going to own the retreat afterwards. So keep that in mind too. And it's on my website, so it's like a little private Facebook, but not Facebook, so you can communicate with one another. There's like a virtual room that you go in, and that's where the webinars are. That's where all the meditations are, and places where you can ask questions and then communicate with one another too. Anyway, I hope to see you on board, right? Because we need more of us to do this work, right? To not go here and really embrace our power. This is our power. This is our superpower, is our uniqueness. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I want to do, okay. I'm just seeing any comments here, but if you, okay. Yeah, I love seeing hearing that. You're reflecting back to me my authenticity when you say uniqueness, because that's my word. Okay. Lucky when I was meditating this morning and tapped into the heart root, and suddenly I started crying. Yeah. Yeah, that's the emotional. Oh, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention, right? Because Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. So we can't forget about the opposite, right? Because we live in a plane of duality. So a lot of healing since 2008 has been through Cancer, and that's the emotions, that's the emotional body. So hopefully you've done your emotional body work, because Capricorn is now into 29 degrees. It's really in, I think, 15 seconds or something like that. So it's coming really, really close, right, to Aquarius. So Aquarius, we have to remember Leo, right? And Leo is all about your creative, individuated self, right? Ruled by the sun, right? So you need both. So this is the window in. This is the ticket in for healing, is to really focus on this. And this is your divine child. It's not your wounded child, it's your divine enlightened child, the sun in the tarot, right? Yeah. So tears are good right now. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So I'm going to I got my tarot deck out here, and I'll do a message for each type here. Okay. We'll start off with the generators. And this is a great little window into your authenticity, is to go by your strategy and authority, like start to really work that in practice. Okay, so the generators, right? We're talking about 70% of the planet are generators. And you want to really look at your work, what you're doing, generators. Are you loving it? Are you feeling fulfilled in your work, right? In your work, and you're not just working for a paycheck, right? You're not just working for a paycheck. Like, what is your passion? What are you responding yes or no to these days, right? Because Jupiter's going direct, so opportunities will be coming for generators. And go to the beginning and look at your astrology. I just did a brief overview of how Jupiter will affect you, your sign. Okay, so let's do a message for the generators. Okay. 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 So it's a message for our generator for this. Well, that one just came right out. And it's the seven of cups. This is the confusion, illusion, right? Choices, fantasies, and so opportunities. I just talked about that. So let's bring it back to Jupiter, right? Right there, the 27.4. So questions to ask yourself, generators. What opportunities are available to you? And are you responding with a yes or no from your sacral? And what do you need to know about each option? Is my sacral saying yes or no? That's all you need to know. And what do you need to be aware of when you make your decision? Is my sacral saying yes or no? Right. But if you're in your mind, the seven of cups will bring confusion, right? Will bring confusion of the mind. You never want to go to the mind to make your decisions, no matter how. Seven of cups is like you can get tricked, right? And we're in this Neptune, right? This Neptune energy, and it's everything's foggy and cloudy, and we're not seeing clearly. Nobody's seeing clearly right now. This is not the time to be making big decisions, not December 29th, right? Like wait until at least Jupiter's going direct and Mercury's going direct, and then respond appropriately with the yes or no. And you don't want to get into shiny daydreams, right? Shiny distractions are everywhere. Yeah. Okay. And this is the seven of cups is also a warning for alcohol, like to watch this, to not be taking in alcohol. So there could be a lot of options. And so you may be seeing something that's good, like with your two eyes, but it's actually the reverse. It's not healthy or correct for you. And then you're seeing something that looks really bad according to the eyes and looks great. Like, let's look at a relationship. They look really good on paper. They got the nice face. They look like they got it all together, and it's a facade. You're not looking deeply, right, into what's beyond this glamoring and mirror and fog, right? But the great thing about you generators, you've got that sacral. And the sacral will know. The sacral can penetrate through all that glamoring and fog and knows exactly what's correct for you. So that's what I would say is really to put your full trust in this in your sacral. And so remember that this is just your strategy, right? So you have an authority too. So if it's colored in and this is your emotional self, then you need to wait for your wave to become clear, right? So my sacral says, yes, I'm a generator, but I'm emotionally defined. Then I wait for my wave to go up. I can see all the positives in this situation, and then down, I see all the negatives in this situation, and then you become clear, and the yes is still there, then you go for it, right? So this can happen like in less than 24 hours, the wave. I'm emotionally defined. My wave is like sometimes even less than 24 hours. Okay. So not to get caught up in making any choices right now, right? Not getting caught up into fantasy. Okay. And not to get distracted. That's a big one. Okay. And actually the astrological is Venus and Scorpio. And this just moved into Sagittarius. Venus is in Sagittarius now, but it's been in Scorpio for a while. Um, what else for the generators? Mm, Yeah, just to trust that things are moving forward for you generators. And the great thing about generators is they attract life. They've got all this life energy, right? Life, they attract life to them. You attract opportunities. You're just designed for that. Every moment is an opportunity to respond to. So just trust. Don't be grabbing on the first shiny thing that you see. That's the mind that's desperate to, I got to do, right? The generators have all this buildup of energy, right? There's the 60, right? Pluto in the 60.4. This is 60 is all about letting go of transcending. It's the opportunity to transcend all these old, it's limitation, right? It's a shadow limitation. All these old, outdated values and things you've inherited from your ancestors. But it's the buildup, is this buildup of energy, buildup of energy, buildup of energy. So you can feel this pressure to want to, like, I just want to grab that shiny thing because I want to feel better, right? I want to grab that shiny thing over there and I want to ignore my sacral because it's uncomfortable for us. We're all feeling the 60, right? The 60. Um, but the great thing now is the 60 didn't know before, right? If it's 60.1, point 2, point 3, it can't see the other side. The other side is the 3. It's like it has no idea why is this happening? Why do I feel so limited? I don't understand. I don't understand. And then when it gets to the 4, then it can see the other side, right? And the 3 is all about mutation. It's all about the new, right? It's so we're in this energy, right? So just to be patient, generators, be patient and listen to your sacral. And if your sacral's saying no, then it's saying no. It's protecting you. It's protecting you from something, right? So the battle is the mind. To not be listening to your mind, listening to your sacral. So just to commit to this, especially now until January 22nd. There's so much changes are coming and things will start moving really, really fast. Okay. Okay. So that's for the generators. And then let's go for the MGs. So they're part of the generator family too. And so they've got the open enveloping aura as well. And they want to feel fulfilled, especially in your work, MGs. This is your year to really follow your strategy and authority and to be in your right livelihood, right? As a manifesting generator. Okay. So I'm going to pick a card from the tarot deck. A nice message for the manifesting generators. Jupiter is moving direct. And it's bringing lots of gifts. It's in the 27.4, which is all about generosity. Okay. What do we got for our manifesting generator friends? Manifesting generator friends. Oh, that one out fixed. The Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups. That's a good one. So this is manifesting generators. So this is all about creative projects, right? It's about love. It's about emotional connection. So what I say, this is romance. It's called romance. This would be very connected to Saturn here, right here. 55, the 55. This is the 5539 is the channel of romance is another name for it. And so romance doesn't necessarily have to be with another person, but it's about being emotionally connected to something, right? That's what romance is. So you can be like romantic towards your pet, right? It's because you're emotionally connected to your pet or your art. I'm emotionally connected to my art, or emotionally connected to something else in my life, my work, right? What I do for a living, right? So that's this could be this is the Knight of Cups too. And so it's asking you to emotionally connect to your life. Maybe you're not emotionally connecting to your life, right now. And so use your strategy, which is the yes or no, right? To bring this emotional connection. Um, mm, so it's about if your feelings, right? It's about expression of your emotions, of your emotional self. Maybe it's something that that you're really pushing down and you don't want to deal with. And someone just said on the chat that they stopped, right? And this is the thing, this manifesting generators don't like to hear this, to stop and pause because they've got so much energy, right? The MGs, they have so much energy. They're go, 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 go. They love to be busy, especially if you got that 3420, right? You like to be busy, 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 busy. So this is about stopping and pausing. This is the time to do it, is to stop and pause and just feel, right? Just allow yourself to feel and get emotionally connected to yourself first, right? That's the life force. Our life force is so connected to our emotional self and our emotional body. And remember, that Pluto's in 29 degrees Capricorn, right? So it's at the last, right? Like this is since 2008 manifesting generators. We've been in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn. So coming to the truth, right? And then it's going to move into Aquarius, coming into the truth here. So it's about feeling, let your emotions be inspired by your feelings, express your feelings, maybe to the people that you love and you're too afraid to say. You don't want to be vulnerable, you don't want to look weak. It's saying to express your feelings. uh, and then if something's been bogged down, free it from this state today. So that's that limitation. So I would go, because we're on the Pluto trip here on this video. Pluto is limitation, right? So maybe transcend this. Maybe this is the old, right? Old ancestral programs, that old past life programs where you limit your own self. I can't express that because I'll be weak, right? I'll put myself in a vulnerable position and then I'll be hurt, right? I'll have my heart broken again. And so this is saying to transcend this limitation, that there's great strength in you being vulnerable as an MG, right? With your emotional self, like connecting with your emotions, right? Because you know what that does? These shadows totally keep us from in separation. They keep us in separation from creation. So that's what that is saying. Like, let more romance in your life, let more emotional connection into your life. Stop and pause and be present, right? Stop, pause, and be present with people and go into your heart, right? If you want to use your mind, then bring it into your heart, right? Bring it into your heart space and let your mind serve your heart, right? And then like consciously emotionally connect with other people, especially the people that you're really really close to, and maybe you're afraid and you got a wall up. This is what this card is saying for this Jupiter, because it's generosity. So you can be generous, not only with your material resources. If you have an excess of material resources, share with other people, but you can also be generous in terms of your heart and your emotions and express. And don't assume that everybody knows how you're feeling, right? How you're feeling. So express your emotions. Okay, that's the message for the MGs. So not only giving love, but also allowing yourself to receive love. Yeah. Okay. So that's the MGs. And then let's go for the manifestors. closed and repelling aura. They're here to inform and to initiate. That's their strategy. And they want to move from anger into peace. That's all the manifestors want. And this 9% of the world are manifestors. Okay, so I'm going to pick a tarot card for the manifestors for a message. And remember that Jupiter, if you just jumped on, you want to watch the beginning of this because I talk about the new year. But Jupiter is going direct on December 30th. 31st, depends on where you live. And that will get things moving. Okay. So what do we have for our manifestor friends, please? Our manifestor friends. Oh, we got two for the manifestors. Look at that. So we got the Knight of Cups for the MGs, and then we got the King of Cups for the manifestors, and then the four of Wands. These are good cards. These are good cards. So again, manifestor, it's about your emotional balance. So the manifestors have to balance head and heart. Head and heart come into balance with head and heart. And what helps you to stay calm? What helps you to integrate your emotional body? And how do you give emotional support to others? And remember, this is the 27.4. That's Jupiter's moving forward in 27.4. So how am I generous in my emotional support of other people? Do I lead with compassion? Right? And others are looking to you for this, right? For emotional support, which can be challenging for the manifestors because they don't have the open and enveloping aura like the MGs and the Gs, right? The teddy bear aura. People don't feel that, right? So what you have to do is you have to kind of compensate for your aura by expressing, right? So expressing. And you can do that with your words, right? So if people are looking to you for emotional support, you want to be the King of Cups, right? And the King of cup always has a full cup for themselves and for others too. So you want to lead with compassion, and it has to do with your home because it's the 4 of Wands, that's the home. So in your home life, right? It's all about your home life becoming more emotionally balanced and committed, like 100% committed to compassion, to being compassionate. And that means listening with your heart, right? Listening with your heart. And this is going to bring you peace, right? So you don't want to be in anger, right? So what you want to do is you want to share because informing is sharing. Maybe you've got to share your troubles with the King of Cups there. I've got to share my troubles as a manifester with others. And then others sharing with you their troubles. But you're going to be patient and you're going to listen with your heart. That's what the King of Cups is saying in your home life, whatever your family life, you want to do this. And then you want to listen with your heart and then speak with your head, right? But you're listening with your heart and then you're speaking from your mouth, but it's coming from your heart. Okay. And also it says, as we go with Jupiter going ahead, is how can, a good question to ask yourself is how can my feelings support me? How can my feelings support me as I move ahead? Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of a Jupiter character is the King of Cups, right? Jupiter has enough for everybody. I have enough compassion for everybody. I have enough ability to listen with my heart to everybody. I'm not in a rush. I'm present with everybody, right? And it's going to make your home life a lot easier, right? Your relationship with your family a lot easier when you embrace this, right? The King of Cups. Mhm. And staying calm, not reacting, right? Okay. Is there anything else with that? I know what I wanted to say, but you can get busy. I know this. You can get busy and you're doing your own thing and you're in your own flow, especially if you're doing work and you're on purpose, on mission, and then you have somebody that comes in, they can automatically to the mind seem like because manifestors have to deal with boundaries, right? Boundaries. So that person can seem like a disruptive force. Well, they're taking me away from my work and they're taking me from this and that. Well, you don't want to go straight to your mind with that. You want to drop into your heart. I want to drop into my art and like this is my real work is to be present with this person, especially if you see if when you're in your heart, you're going to know the truth, right? When you're in your heart, you'll know the truth. When you're in your head, you're not going to know the truth because the mind is very deceitful. It's like the most slimy politician you'd ever come across, right? Is your mind, your own mind. But when you're in your heart, you're in this frequency of truth, and then you connect with that other person with your heart, and you'll know if they're sincere or not. And then you just make time and space for them. So this is what it's saying, like the boundaries, their boundaries come down, and then your boundaries come down, and it makes life a lot easier, right? A lot easier. So drop into your heart and then make time for any kind of emotional disruptions that are, well, not emotional disruptions, but disruptions to what your mind feels like. My mind is, I expect to have this done by this date, right? And you're interfering. It's like, no, that's your work too. You want to include that. That's part of your work, especially to have a happy home. So this is what it's saying. This is your secret to a happy home. If you're going through conflict right now, is it's time to open up your heart and make yourself available for people. Okay. So that's the manifestors. And then let's go for the projector. This is 20% of the world. I'm a projector. Focused and absorbing aura need to be recognized, then invited. And they when they don't do this, they go against this, they're going to be bitter, bitter, bitter. But they want to feel successful, okay, as a projector. So projectors, I'm picking a tarot card for a message, and this is about Jupiter moving direct. And it's all about generosity. It's about nurturing. So wherever that happened in your chart, if you go back to the beginning, I briefly go over I'll probably timestamp it too. Your astrological sun, moon, or rising, and we'll just give you a little the area where it's playing out for you. Okay. Okay, so what message do we have for projector friends? What message do we have for projector friends? For this stupid moving direct. Message to the projector. Oh, that's good. Oh, surprise there. The 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands. So this is the burdens, right? With hard work, hard work. And maybe that's been going on for you projectors since September, right? Since September 4th. Jupiter's been retrograde. So maybe you've been feeling burdened and overwhelmed with hard work, right? No real time to rest. Well, this is saying that completion, whenever you see a 10, means that there's completion ahead. So this is the questions to ask here. Are you taking on too much responsibility? Now, this is especially true projectors if you have an open willpower center You see that shape there? If it's colored in white, then the not self is all about I got to prove myself, right? And projectors anyway have a dilemma they've got to deal with, which is like because they're not generators, they don't have this life force energy, right? So they can't work like generators. So usually the not self, this projector is a workaholic, right? So you want to ask yourself, where are you taking on too much responsibility? Like what's yours? What's another person's? Where are you feeling exhausted? What tasks or activities can you eliminate? And what's the payoff? Because there's always a payoff. What's the payoff of me taking on these extra burdens, right? These extra tasks and work. Okay, so the guidance here for Jupiter moving forward, right, is you want to say no to to any new demands or projects. So this is the invitation, right? So if the projector has been invited, you don't just accept any old invitation as a projector, right? It has to be a high quality invitation. So that, what does that mean? It means that you need to be recognized first. And you'll know you're recognized because you feel lit up inside, right? It's like, I feel lit up. I feel seen. Yes, this is me. They see me. They finally see me, right? And then the invitation comes after that, right? That would be a high quality invitation. So the low quality invitation is they don't really see you. And and you can trick yourself with your mind, right? Well, they didn't really mean that. And once they get to know me, then it's like, no, that's compromise. That's the worst thing for a projector, right? This is low quality invitation, and that it will only lead to bitterness, right? It will only lead to bitterness, and it will lead to this 10 of Wands. So you want to say no to the low quality invitations and trust that the high quality invitation will come because you'll get closer to it because your no is just as powerful as your yes. Um, and don't take responsibility for other people's actions. That's the 10 of Wands says too. Um, and it's also saying that to recognize your limitation. So I would say as a projector, your limitation is this, right? That you're a projector. That's your limitation. And once you accept that, then this makes your aura more powerful, right? When you accept your limitation as a projector, right? It's the gate of acceptance, that's 60. I'm going to accept my limitation as a projector and that this is my strategy and authority. And I'm going to start to use this, especially with the 2024 coming online. And I've got to be my authentic self. And this is my superpower as a projector. One of them is to wait, to be recognized and invited. Okay. So, okay. What else here with the Ten of Wands? The overworking. I guess what comes up is this lack of trust, lack of trust in your aura projectors, and also the the lack of trust in your the way that you work and the way that you approach work. Because generators have this sacral defined, and they're the energy bunnies. They can go. They can work circles around you. You can't keep up with them. You'll exhaust yourself. That's what this 10 of Wands is saying. So it's about loving and honoring yourself as a projector, which means you're not the marathon runner. You're the sprinter. You can work really fast and furious for short periods of time. It's not 8 hours for you. It's a couple hours and then the rest. And then maybe one or two after. Depends on your own rhythm, right? So there's a lack of trust in that you can survive, right? Can I survive in this generator world as a projector? Well, it's going to become easier and easier as we come closer to 2027, right? Next year, people are going to really need to be guided. They can't, our old ways will not work. Our old tricks are not going to work. They're not working now, and they're certainly not going to work in 2024. And then the other types are going to start seeking out the projectors. Can you help guide me? Right. I just posted, look up in my shorts, in my channel, in the shorts, I just put up projector puppy, right? Like watch that little video. That's the projector. So that's what you have to teach, right? It's working smarter, not harder. It's called. Anything else for that, for the burden, overwhelmed? Hmm. The other thing too, because astrologically it's Saturn and Sagittarius, is to bring your optimism back, right? And this means to let go of this bitterness, right? Don't listen to the mind. The mind will put you in bitterness, right? It's just about trust and faith right now for all the types. Okay. Anything else for projectors? And let's trust, because the 27 is moving forward. Jupiter in 27 is finally moving forward. And this is generosity. So generosity. So to trust that the universe, the divine creation is generous, right? Generosity. This is Jupiter and Taurus. So it's material generosity coming to you, and to trust and have faith that you just have to be yourself, right? That's your superpower. Okay. Okay. Is that it for projectors? Okay, let's go for reflector, the last. And I always love to hear from my projector friends. If you can put that in the comments, if you're a reflector. So that's 1% of the world are reflectors. And they're here to follow the cycles of the moon, right? So they have the resistant and sampling aura. That's what protects them. And when they're not operating correctly, they're disappointed. They're disappointed in people. They're disappointed in their life. They're disappointed in themselves. But if they operate correctly, they're going to be surprised when they follow the moon, right? Which is ever changeable. So they're surprised here. Okay. So reflectors, this is about Jupiter moving direct in generosity, the 27th gate, the gate of nurturance. Do, 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 do. Let's go here with reflectors. So I'm picking a tarot card for the reflectors. It's always good to watch the whole video reflectors, and especially projectors too. Okay. So what do we have for reflector friends? What's the message for our reflector friends? What's the message for reflector friends? Mhm. Mhm. Makes sense. It would take longer for the reflector. It's have to follow the cycles of the moon. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. So we have two for the reflector. We've got the Hermit card, Major Arcana, the only Major Arcana, and then the Page of Swords right there. So Page of Swords is the student for this Jupiter moving direct. And Jupiter is also about higher knowledge, right? Jupiter. So curiosity, new ideas, new messages coming to you from the divine or from other people. So the other person would represent the page of swords, and this would be like the excited, kind of a Gemini kind of person, right? Very curious and into ideas, right? So this is asking you what new ideas are you interested in? And it's about communication too. And what new knowledge are you interested in? Okay. Uh, okay. And then let's go with this hermit card. I feel like this is more important. So this is about going within, right? The hermit card. And it's if you've got, you look at your chart too, if you got a point two on the black side or the red side, you resonate with the hermit already. So this is about looking within, right? It's looking within. And he's got right, he's looking at his own inner light. You can see that he's got that lantern. So he's looking at his own inner light. So you look at your own inner light. That's what you're following with the moon. And so a good idea if you're new to human design is to really, so look at here. It's 33.6. It's probably a different number now, but look at this. Like today, you probably felt this need to retreat. That's the gate of retreat. So it's really getting aligned and attuned because this is what you surrender to. You're surrendering to the program, right? Because you're here to teach us about the program, right? Ra actually said that he wished that most of his audience were reflectors because this transit programs really, really impacts the reflectors because they experience it very, very deeply, right? So the questions here are how do you connect with your inner truth and wisdom? What spiritual practices do you have in your daily routine, like meditation, writing in your journal, or just going out for a walk in nature, whatever that is for you? How do you retreat? It's funny, this is this gate of retreat. How do you retreat from the external world and focus within? So it's really important for reflectors to spend time on their own so they can really discharge and really feel themselves in their own frequency. So this is taking time for yourself, going on a retreat, right? Maybe today, maybe you can do that today. And engage with your inner self and put yourself on pause. This is the time for pause. This time that we're in right now. Things are going to be moving forward December 31st, right? And January 1st. But right now it's for pause. It's for pause. Um, okay. And also it's Virgo. Hermit is Virgo. So Virgo is all about discernment, right? So what is discernment is like, this is correct for me. No, this isn't correct for me. It's sorting. So that's what the hermit is saying too, is sorting, right? But also sorting what's good for you, what's correct for you, what spiritual practices are correct for me, what isn't correct for me, what people are correct for me, what people aren't correct for me. And also looking at new ideas, getting excited about new ideas as a reflector, right? And those new ideas are going to come from within. They're going to come from within. So maybe there's a book in you that wants to be written, or a story, or a blog article, or a video. Something wants to be expressed through you as a reflector. But it's saying right now is to be generous with yourself in terms of time. Maybe you haven't been generous with yourself in terms of time, the time that you give to yourself. Okay. What else for the reflector here? Yeah, it's just saying to go internal. That's all I'm saying. Not a time for socializing for the reflectors. Okay. Okay. Okay, everybody. So that's what I have for you. So remember the New Year Superpower Online Retreat. And I'll be working with the types too, right? I'll be working with the types too as well. And we'll go through the last year briefly. We'll go more in depth in the new year and then meditations and stuff around. And it's just you remember your original self, your authentic self, you can never lose. Never in a million years, you cannot lose your authentic self. But what happens is all these other gunk gets buried. This is the not self world, gets piled on top of that. So this is like a deep deconditioning weekend and a deep detox of all that, what's not you. Okay. So I have more information on my website. So check that out. And if you're called, like sign up. It's going to be a very impactful, mutative experience. That's my intention. Okay. So I'll see you and talk to you soon. Okay. Sat Nam Aloha, everybody. Bye bye.